Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hello everyone, checking in on the major names here. We're going to look at MJ, WEED, ACB, APH, and CRON. Last video, I was highlighting how MJ, the ETF, was skewed due to the major holdings in CRON. So they must have heard me, and they rebalanced it very quickly a couple days later. Just kidding, but they did rebalance it, so there's a lot of holdings now worth 5%. It's not as heavily weighted to one individual name. So breaking the correlation a little bit. But we're going to be watching now how things settle in on MJ. Here it is on the daily time frame. And watching to see, can the bulls maintain their higher lows? So what we're watching is our higher low pattern on the daily chart. Bulls ideally want to hold this most recent higher low of 3160 in terms of resistance. The move that we did see was into higher highs. So it's a good sign that we did break the high of the initial bounce. But we need to keep higher lows. If we do break 3160, it's not game over for the bulls. The absolute must-hold level is 3057 to keep this uptrend intact. So we could still bear break and hold that support. So it's not game over. Just want to highlight that. And looking at the weekly chart for MJ, a little bit choppy. Daily chart, definitely better in terms of more details and more clarity with where we stand. So MJ daily trying to see some bounce in terms of resistance. A close resistance is the high of yesterday. That's at 3240. So in the range the last 4 days and looking for a break sometime before the end of the week. We have the FOMC tomorrow for the U.S. markets. And if you're not familiar with what the FOMC is, it's a meeting in regards to monetary policy. And the biggest factor is interest rates. And we get some information as to what the interest rates are going to be and how often they're going to raise them this year, things like that. So that could have an impact as well tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. Definitely something to keep an eye on. WEED on the daily chart. So we were unable to break a key resistance, but it's no major red flags. It happened on low bear volume, and we're looking at our higher lows here on the daily, easily still intact at this point, and putting up a couple more. So 3070 is our most recent higher low. On this consolidation, the bulls want to break or want to hold 3070 and form a higher low. We have resistance, very key resistance at 3455. That's the highest price that we've seen in months, and we got up to 3425 today. Pulling back just shy as that resistance level, people likely taking profit just under that level. So at this point, we're in consolidation mode. It's healthy consolidation. And as long as 3070 holds, the bulls keep control on the daily time frame. So here it is on the 4-hour chart. We can see our consolidation. We broke the 4-hour lower highs. We then formed a higher low and a higher high. And now the bulls are looking for another higher low to form on this 4-hour time frame, declining bear volume. So again, no major red flags. We could see another red day consolidation tomorrow, but even then, we could pull back to 32, 30, upper 31s and still be in this bullish uptrend overall. So potential cup and handle psychology going on here, where we have the left side of the cup, the consolidation, the right side is unable to break the left side. We then see some healthy consolidation before the breakout. That's something to be keeping an eye on. But bottom line, bulls are still just fine on WEED. ACB is a much different story, and it is now breaking correlation and clearly showing bearish action. So we have our low of the dump, we have our higher low, and this was a level that broke that shifted the tone completely. As soon as 1110 broke, bears took over 3 days in a row now. We have seen 6 red days in a row. That does not happen often on ACB. The must-hold level is 953. We're taking out all kinds of supports. 10 psychological, and then 953. The hourly RSI at this point is getting pretty juicy in the sense that if we get another leg down and we test $10 psychological support tomorrow, we will have an RSI on the hourly down in the low 20s. Resistance on the hourly, we had a little bounce attempt that topped out at 1055. So we're looking at that resistance point and seeing if the bulls are going to be able to break it, because anything under that on any bounce attempt will be just another lower high. So ACB oversold bounce attempt worth watching, especially if we see, I mean, ideal scenario, I'd like to see a flush under $10, trigger all those stop losses. That would be an entry point. If we could break those levels tomorrow morning, I would be looking to be a buyer, and you could make just a quick day trade flip, or you could set your stop loss at break even and try and see a swing trade out of it. But $10 will be key, and that's a potential climax point if we do break below that level. and we'll have to update the hourly RSI if that were to happen. But overall, the daily chart, again, very clearly more bearish than APH and WEED the last few days, especially closing here at the low of the day. So just looking at APH on this daily chart, in terms of the higher lows that are currently intact on APH, remember when APH was our lead bear, it is now shifted for ACB to take that role. So resistance here, 1532, we could not break it. We pulled back from 1517. Higher low, ideally to hold, is 1387, and we bounced today off 1410. So the range, 1387 to 1496 is what I'm currently watching, and I actually take that back. It's 1387 to 1517, the high from yesterday. That's what I'm watching on this range, and we need a more clear break. The 4-hour chart shows things are pretty tight. We do still have these higher lows. We're a little bit ahead of the game in consolidation. So just to compare to WEED, we've been pulling back now for about 5-6 candlesticks, and we look at WEED on the 4-hour, and we've only pulled back 2 candlesticks. So it's the same pattern, just a little bit more developed on APH already. So worth keeping an eye on that for some potential clues. But overall, right now, the daily chart in terms of strength, it's WEED, APH, and ACB's last. Cron's not too strong either. I took Cron profit on the gap up open this morning, and I took half of my position profit pre-market at 907 at the price on the US version of Cron, and I don't think we ever hit that point. So pre-market trading allowing me the opportunity, and allowed me the opportunity to set a stop loss yesterday as well, but loving this fact that I can trade pre-market and capitalize on an opportunity, and the high of the day was 908. So pretty much because I could sell pre-market, I was able to lock in half of my position at the high of the day. So back on over to the Canadian version. So it was a big setback. We did not confirm the bullish reversal candlestick. We had no follow through. So looking back at the 4-hour time frame, we saw a solid bounce. Now we need a higher low and a higher high. The volume is on low bear volume compared to high bull volume. There's a potential bottom fishing play approaching where key support is 1022. The closer we get to 1022, the better for an entry. Let's say we drop down to fill this gap at 1035 and we make a bull entry. We're going to be risking about 15 cents before getting stopped out, and the reward will be, you know, potentially 8 to 10 times that. So a bottom fishing play is setting up on Cron, and we'll see if we can get that higher low compared to 1022, and then the bull's heading back into the low $11 range. So overall on the daily chart, again, no follow through, just giving us a new resistance level of 1185, and we'll see if 1022 can hold for these bulls. So that's where we stand on the market overall. I'm currently all cash and may look for an entry on that oversold ACB bounce play tomorrow. But other than that, just waiting for healthy WEED consolidation and watching to see, can we get the higher low and higher high continuing for the bulls. I appreciate you watching, and we'll check back soon.